Guys, let's start with this question over here. Now, in this question, so far you've seen at least a few questions on my collocations. The first thing that I always see is please skim and scan. So let's start with that. Now, if I skim and scan, I can see that this passage is most likely about something that's related to NASA, and I can see NASA, I can see moons, Jupiter, NASA. So something probably about space, because NASA, Moon, Jupiter, that's all related to the space. Let's start reading through it. So it says the scientists preparing for NASA's proposed Jupiter icy moon's orbiter believe that Jupiter's moon, Europa, may be corrosive mixture of acid and peroxide. Thus, it may not be the dash place for life to exist as was thought possibly to be the case. Okay. After the word the, what do we need? Ideally, it should be a noun, but sometimes it can be an adjective too. In this case, I have a noun already over here. What describes a noun? Basically, an adjective describes a noun. So I think that the answer of this blank should be an adjective. Now, before you look at the answer options, try to guess. It may not be the best place. That's something that I can think of. It may not be the ideal place. It may not be the perfect place. Okay. It may not be the standard place, ideal place. Okay, I will not go with the word principle. Eliminate that because that doesn't make sense. Places are, I wouldn't go with valuable as well, or even standard. And I guessed the word ideal. So I think it should be the ideal place for life to exist, as was thought possibly to be the case. Dash. All the information we have about Europa comes from spacecraft Galileo, which completed its mission to study Jupiter and its moon close-up before NASA dramatically crashed it into Jupiter in 2003. Dash all the information we have about Europa. I really can't guess the word, so I'm going to click on the blank. Virtually all the information we have about Europa. Maybe reality, no. Reality, all the information, no. Rightly, all the information, no. Effective, no. I will go with virtually. You know why is that? Because I'll give you a very simple example. So when you're doing an online session, when you're doing an online class, it's a virtual space. Why do we call it virtual? Because you're not physically present over there. The orbit being in the space is also virtual for us because we can't be physically there. So that makes kind of sense, right? Now, okay. Dash, the general perception of Europa is of a frozen crust of water, ice harboring a salty subterranean ocean kilometers below. Researchers studying the most dash measurements see light reflected from the moon's icy surface. Dash, the general perception. Let's have a look at this. Now, if you look at these words, in addition, although, moreover, however, damn, I'm confused. So how do I make sure that I get to the right answer? I'll give you a trick. In addition, moreover, and however cannot be the right answer. Do you know why is that? The reason being because if you look at this, it should have had a blank over here, like this blank should have had a comma. If it had a comma, then in that case, it could be possible that in addition, moreover, and however was a right answer. The correct answer in this case should be although. Although the general perception of Europa is a frozen crust of water, ice harboring a salty subterranean ocean kilometers below. Researchers studying the most dash measurements say light reflected from the moon's icy surface bears the spectacular fingerprints of hydrogen peroxide and strong acids. The most dash measurements. So it just happened recently. That's what I'm thinking. Most. By the way, when do you use the word most? The word more or most is used when you're trying to describe an adjective, okay? You can't go with old because it just happened in 2003. It got crashed recently. Ancient. Ancient and primitive would not make any sense here. We don't have the space shuttle. I'd go with the word recent. The most recent measurements say light reflected from the moon's icy surface bears the spectral fingerprints of hydrogen peroxide and strong acids. dash they accept that it could just be a thin surface dusting and might not come from the ocean below. What could be the right answer? So, however, thus and I can actually remove the word and straight away. With the word and, you wouldn't put a comma on this side. Thus, maybe, however, maybe, so maybe. How do I figure out the answer? Okay, if you look at this statement below, now compare the statement which is given at the bottom of the screen. This seems to be like a contradiction with the previous statement. So in this case, I would probably go with the word however. So I think that this could be a probable answer. So let's hope that this is the right answer and let's click confirm. As you can see, question is fully correct. So I hope that you understand how to do collocations. Be very careful with that.